Hello, everybody, and welcome to Only Stupid Answers. This is the show where we answer your questions about movies, TV shows, comic books, D23s, rumors, and more. With me, I'm DJ Wildridge. With me, as always, is Roxy Stryer. Hi, Roxy.
I'm more.
You and more. And then even more, we have very special guest, Mr. Adam Hlavac.
Hello.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm great. I got my coffee. I'm ready to party.
Hell yeah. So, as our guest, let's start with you, Adam. For those that have not checked out any of the numerous episodes of ours that you've been on, who are you? Where can they find you?
I run a YouTube channel with my friends Augustine Rios and Hector Navarro. It's called Heroes Reforged. We do weekly reactions, reviews, all kinds of shenanigans. We're watching like 14 shows right now at the same time. So go check those out. Just youtube.com/Heroes Reforged. My social media is boring. It's just my name because that's all I could think of in 2011. So you're welcome. It's
easy. You did the right thing.
That's the best.
Yeah. My last name's too long. I couldn't fit my whole name into the Twitter account,
I get
character
it.
count. So yeah. You were telling me about a lot of the stuff you're watching. You're doing, hoping none of those are spoilers, you're in season 2 of The Boys.
Yeah, we're doing The Boys season 2, Superman Lois season 2, The Rings of Power, She-Hulk. We started Andor. What else are we doing?
Which we can't.
I feel like I'm
House of the Dragon?
No, we couldn't fit into our shooting schedule. Hector just went to Europe, so we had to cram in a bunch of stuff right before he left. So we're going to do that and Sandman, I think, around November.
For those that are interested in Roxy and my thoughts on House of the Dragon, you can check that out on our Patreon exclusive show, What We're Into. This week's episode had a very harrowing scene. Anyway, that's for the other show.
There's a lot I want to talk to you about with that, DJ.
There's a lot to unpack. Unpack. And also we cannot talk. We abide by embargoes in this house. And we're not allowed to review and/or but if we could, we might say that it's great.
You might be able to go to my Twitter and find something about it.
And see a few thoughts. But that's for next week.
So have not watched it yet. I'm the worst.
You got time.
You have time. Well, and the difference between She-Hulk, we got 4 episodes, and it was like an episode a week. So it's like, wait, I'm gonna have to wait 4 weeks till I see new She-Hulk, which for anybody that's watched She-Hulk it's like, no, I want more. With Andor, the first 3 episodes drop the first week, so you don't have to wait that long.
Oh, good.
They're
getting 3 episodes at once?
Yeah.
Yes.
How long are the episodes?
They're like 30-ish minutes.
Yeah, 30 to 40. I love it. That's like that network runtime. I've been watching stuff on AMC Plus, and so they run it.
It's all like 42 minutes.
Yeah, because they have space for ads, and it's like I forgot how beautiful this is.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. We're watching Superman Lois season 2 and on HBO Max, and I'm like, why I would never watch this on network or CW website ever again for the rest of my life. This is the best. There's no commercials, nothing. It's
breezing through. But that is not what we are talking about today.
Whoa.
But before we get into what we're talking about today, of course, I mentioned our Patreon. You go to patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. Where we talk about what we're into. I have a show with Sal Crivelli from the Comic Pop, where we talk about Spider-Man, everything. We're in Spider-Man, the animated series season 2. We're wrapping that up, and you all were able to vote. And shocker, you all voted that we watch Morbius, and then after Morbius, you voted that we watch.
Oh my God! I just watched it on Netflix yesterday for the first time. What a piece of shit!
Yeah,
no, y'all are mean.
It's
definitely
not good.
Super better than Doctor Strange. So
disagree hard. It depends on which
I gotta
Doctor
go.
Strange.
Bye.
No, so anyway. We're gonna do that.
You guys don't even know how to watch movies.
And then we're gonna do Spider-Man animated series season 3 after that. So check that out. If you listen to this on Spotify, every week we ask a question. Last week's question was, who do you think should be the quote unquote Kevin Feige for DC movies? Yashu Wazalewski said, my wishful thinking is someone like Damon Lindelof, but he'd never do it. Actually, that's a pretty solid choice.
It'd be interesting. I feel like Damon Lindelof would want to jump, though. He would be like, this sucks. Why am I doing it?
Yeah, he would. He wouldn't want to do it. And I would be interesting. No, I actually think I was going to say maybe if he did it, it might be like a reverse Zack Snyder, where Zack Snyder's kind of doing his own thing, and Damon Lindelof might do the same thing. But it's like, no, actually, I feel like he would do it if he would do it, he would do a good job. And also, I think between he's been a showrunner, so he knows how to like move multiple pieces. It's pointless. He wouldn't do it, but he'd probably be good at it if he did.
Yeah.
I think JJ's in there.
Xavier Thomas says Ezra Miller.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to mess up your name, but it's not for lack of trying. Jerome Austin Gonpad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Next time, yell at me. Tell me how to pronounce it the right way, and I will do my best. It suggests Harry Styles and Christopher.
Weird. You guys are being really weird about this question. You're just being super weird, and I love that energy.
Because there's no good answer. The job title is another person. How can you be our Kevin Feige?
Yeah, it is weird. But can you guys take this question seriously and honestly give me an answer? I genuinely want to know if Ezra Miller ended up being the DC Kevin Feige, what is the first thing you think they would do? Like the very first thing that they greenlight or that they do?
Flee to the one country that they don't have outstanding charges. And Christopher Chow suggests, I say give the job to DJ. I believe in you. And while I appreciate that, and boy, do I have ideas, I am going to be candid with you. I don't know that I have the experience to juggle the monumental task. The undertaking that would be. I do have suggestions because it's easy.
I thought you were going to say, I just don't want to deal with the toxic fandom.
I don't like.
They said DJ, Ezra Miller, Harry Styles. That's what you guys are bringing us today. Okay. I see how it is.
And the one legitimate choice was somebody that wouldn't. It's like, yeah, that'd be cool, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those were the answers to your questions. But what we're talking about today, normally Roxy and I jump into news. And there is news to talk about. There's Emmys, but we're going to save that for what we're into. We're going to get on Roxy's thoughts on the Emmy stuff. But there is so much D23 stuff to get through, which happened last week just after we recorded our previous episode. So we're covering it now. That I think we should just dive right in. How do you feel? How do you guys feel about that?
Sounds like business as usual.
Beautiful. I feel fantastic. I was hoping you would say that.
There was like a delay, and I was like, "Wait, are they going to tell me I can't?" Or they're like, "No,
honestly,
don't do
DJ, I think my delay is because I am excited to hear this, but I didn't follow D23 at all this year. Like, not one bit. Was not keeping up with it. Just kind of was like, I'm aware D23 is going on, and I know at some point somebody will say to me, watch this trailer, do this thing. But I was just kind of chilling and was like, I don't feel like it right now. I just
well, you're busy. You're out there promoting your own movie. You're traveling across the country to promote your movie, which I saw, and it is excellent if you get a chance to see it.
DJ came to my movie. It was so sweet. I was like really nervous that I texted him. I wasn't texting anybody. I had posted on my social, but I was like, DJ specifically said to me, if it's playing again in LA, to text him. And I texted him. I was like, DJ, no pressure, no worries. But if you want to come to my movie, you can come to my movie. And he did. He showed up. It was so sweet. I really appreciate it.
And I really appreciate it because not only is it good, but you were very good in it. So for anybody that wants, alwayslola.com?
alwayslola.film.com, and we're playing in Boston. Finally, the tickets went on sale today, which I almost had a heart attack about because it's in a week from tomorrow. But we're playing at Fenway, which is really cool for me, at Fenway Regal, which is awesome. And it's alwayslolafilm.com, or you can go to Always Lola Film on Instagram, and you can buy tickets if you're in Boston. Anybody in Boston who wants to come see the movie, I'll be there. The director, the producer, a couple other cast members. They've been really generous. The Boston Film Festival, they flew us all out. They're putting us all up. So really, really grateful to them. And also give me a trip home to come see my parents, or to see my dad and my family. So, which is really nice.
Roxy, are you in the big time now? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling us you're in the big time now?
It's like kind of weird that your co-host is like so famous, DJ. I'm just like a star. And I really was pampered. I was fed grapes on the plane by a Grecian god. So it was like, holy shit, this is what this is like.
I'll get used to this.
Yeah, I just living the dream.
I'm so behind on what date it is that I was like, I went to the website. I'm like, oh, cool. They're playing it on September 10th. It is now the 16th.
Yes.
Great. All right, cool.
I too.
Yeah, Adam didn't even respond to my text asking him to come. That was weird. It's awkward.
It was a choice. He made a choice. And now we're all going to have to. We're just going to have to muscle through it. So this episode is for Roxy. Roxy, we are going to relay to you all the D23 news you need. But before we do that, we got to have some ads to put some money in the coffers. We are back from the ads. I hope you enjoyed them. And normally, what I try and do, I was like, let's save the big stuff for the back end. But then what happens is we spend so much time on the not big stuff that we have like, let's talk about the Marvel stuff with 10 minutes left. So let's front load this baby. Let's start with Marvel, because I feel like that was like, Adam, correct me, because it felt like you were pretty on top of all the D23 announcements. It felt like Marvel was the big in this year.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wasn't there. I was just following it on Twitter like everybody else. So I was really just kind of paying attention to what was being announced. And in my opinion, I thought the announcements were really great. I thought they were cool. I was at Comic-Con, so I feel like these announcements were an expansion of what was already kind of announced at Comic-Con, which is fine. Apparently that's controversial. I don't know, but okay, whatever.
It's controversial because Kevin Feige went and told some people directly. It's not like they just came up with this. They have a direct line to Kevin Feige.
This is all factual.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
He told.
One of the 40,000.
He confirmed that 100% Jodie Comer, Henry Cavill, I almost said Gus Fring. That's his character name. Giancarlo Esposito, John Krasinski, basically every actor you know and love. Confirmed.
Every Hollywood actor.
Is gonna be. They're not only gonna be in the MCU, they will be announced at D23. They will be there on stage. Just like we heard that Henry Cavill was gonna be at Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. And then he didn't show up, and it's like, oh, boo.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah,
I wonder why. And
it's always
the internet said it was going to happen, but he's not there. That's weird.
And it's always so funny when like you'll see like a reputable news source post it, and like the source is like Comic Bros, and it's like who? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why are we pretending? Obviously, none of this was confirmed. These were just rumors, but everybody was pretty attached to them. And I do feel obligated in saying I think Jodie Comer would actually be a very good Invisible Woman. I don't know that that's the case, but I would be very much for it. And that led to disappointment because that's not what we got. But like you said, Adam, we got so much at Comic-Con, like an insane amount at Comic-Con. It's like I don't know what people. Yeah. Well, I do know because the rumors were going on. I do know what people expected, but like realistically, like come on.
It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, they announced so much stuff at Comic-Con. I mean, they always put on a show at Comic-Con. Kevin Feige feels very loyal to that audience because that's where they first announced that they're going to be building an MCU. That's where they debuted the first stuff from Iron Man. So even though that Marvel Studios is like owned by Disney, I still think that Kevin Feige maybe favors the Comic-Con audience a little bit more, which shit, that's fine with me. I was there, so it was really cool. You guys were not there?
Roxy was at Comic-Con this year. I was not.
Okay.
Right, Roxy, you were there this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, you guys don't remember that.
You're like, I was like on really stage at Hall H.
Yeah.
So
I was moderating the damn panel. Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've been to one D23 before this. And yes, some of those, like that one of the Lucasfilm panel, I think it was, they announced the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It had some big announcements. And even Marvel, I think they announced She-Hulk and like 2 other things, which is fine. But I think, it's been 3 years and they announced so much stuff at Comic-Con. So I'm like, cool, just give me context on what you already announced. I don't need to know the entire Phase 6 slate. I don't need to know what's happening in 10 years. Yeah. Tell me what's happening in like 8 to 10 months, please.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what they gave us.
Just as you guys were talking about Jodie Comer, I looked up Jodie Comer just to see if she was working on anything right now, to see where this rumor possibly could have started, or like if it really was just internet fabrication. And the first article that pops up, I don't understand. Daily Mail titles it, Jodie Comer looks disheveled as she cradles a baby. And then
what the fuck? What?
You click on it and it says, while filming new dystopian thriller, the end we start from whatever. And like even the way that the article is written is so bizarre. It's like Jodie appeared to be makeup free and injured as she sported a fake cut on her forehead. And it's like, no, Jodie's character, my dude. Not Jodie. What? Why are we calling this? Why is this Jodie Comer looks disheveled as she cradled the baby? Like, what? Okay.
Listen,
all right,
Roxy,
that's what we do.
Our global understanding of reality is kind of crumbling, and so things are bleeding together. It's all kind of becoming a wash. Anybody that's
Incredible.
seen Killing Eve, she was in The Last Duel, the Ridley Scott movie Last Duel. She was in Free Guy, which I mean, she's good in. That's not the best showcase of her abilities, but she's good in it.
She's good. Yeah,
she's good in it. She's good. She's really, really good.
No, I know who she is, and people love her. And I just was curious where this started because I had heard it too. Everybody had heard it, and it's like sometimes you just wonder. Is it a you, me, Adam of the world who's sitting there in tweets one time, Jodie would make a great Sue Storm, and then that's where it comes from? Yes. Or is it like a leak in the system and somebody's like, we're talking to Jodie, and then that's how it gets out? Like these rumors that get so intense.
Yeah.
It's just like where did this stem from?
I do think sometimes with some of the rumors, it does feel like it's the studio testing the waters. Like, how would people respond to this situation?
Yeah. They just throw out bait.
Yeah, exactly. But I think what's weird is the conviction it's one thing to be like, so-and-so actor or actress is in talks to do da-da-da. It's another thing. No, they are cast. They will be on stage. This is when it's happening. And it's like, that's where it's like, wait, so you're lying is what's happening. That's, you're a liar that's lying because that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
You're right. It's all about the conviction that people just come through and they're like, this is what's happening. They'll come into the chats or whatever YouTube. This is the casting. And it's like,
seriously, if you if you can come into the room with the right amount of conviction, people will basically let you get away with anything, especially if you're a dude. And in the world we live in, it's not a good thing. That's not me validating it, but it's like, oh yeah, this person must know. No, they don't.
I've literally opened Twitter and seen superhero accounts that tweet like, confirmed Andrew Garfield will return for a Spider-Man 3. And I'm like, according to who?
Yeah.
It doesn't even source anything. People retweet it, and I'm like, why? What are you doing?
And then I think, to your point, Roxy, it's kind of like, so Adam, that thing, Andrew Garfield's returning, I would like that to happen. And somehow that transmutes into, it is happening. It is happening. And I believe it because I want it to be true. But we don't know. It would be cool though. So Roxy, you said you weren't really paying attention. Do you know did you get anything leak through to you from what was announced at D23?
Yeah, for sure, because I have been on shows for the last week and it's all anybody is talking about, which makes sense. But the main things that I cared about were the only things that leaked through without people telling me was the Little Mermaid trailer.
Yes.
Which I was like stoked on. And the reason that came through to me is because of the adorable effing videos on TikTok of all these moms showing their little daughters and the little daughters being like, I love the mermaid. And it's just like, I love these girls who have no idea what's going on in the outside world of racist fucks.
Yeah.
It's just so nice to see. Like,
and they're also not
celebrating.
Like, they're so young. They might not really know the other Little Mermaid. So this is all this is fine for them. They don't know. It's not.
Totally. They're like, her voice, she's so pretty. I'm like, yeah, she is. Everybody else, STFU, remember, who is this movie for?
Yeah.
It's for the little kids. Let them have it. Like,
well, and if you look at the people pretending to be mad about it, it's like, you weren't going to go see Little Mermaid. Come on.
First of all, those people, they're not going to go see that movie. One, two, they don't even know the source material really because they're citing the Disney animated film. I'm like, that's not even the source material. That's like, what? You have, it's ridiculous.
Yes,
the whole conversation around that. Like I ended up watching the trailer. We didn't react to it, but I watched the trailer and there's like things.
You didn't react to it. Did you really watch it?
I know.
If you didn't film yourself watching something, did you really watch it?
I know. And I had like things that I wanted to talk about in terms of the visual effects and like the color design of the movie. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother because people are going to use that as like negativity towards the movie. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of that crowd. So I'm just going to move on.
Yeah,
totally. I'm so with you. I didn't want to you're allowed to have like a critical eye on things, but when it comes to a movie like this, it's like, I actually am not going to add to any of your dumb fodder out there. So I'm just going to it's one of those, if you don't have anything nice to say, or if you don't have all nice things to say, just zip it right now. It's not the time.
Because it's easy to look at something like that, and I think about all the other live action Disney movies I've seen, and I'm like, and it's like, but I don't want my opinion to be misconstrued about what it's about because this actress is great and she's a very talented singer. So like, let him have it. let's start with, before we get into that, let's get into Marvel. So we got footage that was given to fans at D23, but that we did not get to see out as us plebeians out in the streets.
What was it?
We got new footage of Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and the Marvels.
And Ironheart, I think, too, had some footage.
Cool, and they're billing Ironheart as like tech versus magic, which feels weird, but also was cool. And I believe it's Anthony Ramos is playing the Hood, which is it's just a weird sentence to say. It's like, wait, we're getting the Hood in anything? Like, wait, I feel like that. And then when I see the armor for Ironheart, I was like, this might be. I don't care. I'm sorry, I wasn't really reading Iron Man comics when Riri was introduced. I have no attachment to the character, but it's like, this might be really cool. Like, this could just come out of nowhere and be really dope. But we didn't get to see any of that. We also got, instead of a full cast for the Fantastic Four, all we got was that Matt Shakman will direct the movie. And I should have put a note here. He directed WandaVision, correct? That is his claim to fame. That show looked good.
He directed WandaVision, was gonna go off to do Star Trek, and then he was like, "Never mind, I'm gonna go do Fantastic Four. Bye."
It's interesting to me, and I don't know if either of you have feelings on this, how dedicated Kevin Feige seems to be to getting a house person to do Fantastic Four. Because before it was John
Watts
from Spider-Man, and now it's Matt Shack. It's not like Sam Raimi. Like when Sam Raimi was announced to be doing Multiverse of Madness, it's not that. Yeah. It's like, no, this is a person. We're picking somebody safe, is what it feels like.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I do wonder if Kevin Feige is someone who looks at like the process of how they make things, because I feel like they make things very specifically.
Yes.
And they look and see what people kind of fit best into that mold. And if Fantastic Four has very, very specific goals, maybe that's why they favor someone who they've already worked with, as opposed to bringing in somebody new who they have to kind of in some ways train to understand their process, which is why I think they got Destin Daniel Cretton to do King Dynasty.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they get Ryan Coogler to do Secret Wars. So I'm sure there's a lot of consideration that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Roxy, go for it.
It's also, I think, simply the fact that if they fuck up Fantastic Four, we're never getting Fantastic Four ever again.
Yeah.
It's
just pressure.
This is and that's obviously a tiny bit of an exaggeration, but not that big of an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Like, if this movie is not good, we're never touching it again. I think it's just like going to be shelved for 40 years. So I think that's him saying, like, y'all can have fun with some of these other movies, not this one. This is my finger on the pulse on this one, and I'm going to be the one dictating, and I need a company man.
It's like Steven Spielberg and Poltergeist. It's like Toby Hooper's name is on the marquee. What's interesting to me is, considering the box office reputation of Fantastic Four, I am surprised that they didn't just make it a Disney Plus show. I think it would benefit the material, and it would also alleviate a lot of the pressure of like what you just said, Roxy, of like, if we mess it up this time, no more Fantastic Four. It's like, well, just do a 4-episode Disney Plus show. Like, I don't know if it hasn't been working in theaters. Why are you committing to this?
I agree with you, but I think, and I would imagine that like Kevin Feige probably thought about this too, is what is the fan conversation and fan reaction going to be? Oh, they don't think it's good enough to be a movie. They don't think it's worthy of, all that sort of stuff. And, I want to give Kevin Feige the benefit of the doubt and let him have a crack at a movie. And then maybe instead of doing like a sequel that is a direct, film, they can do a sequel series or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Cause I think, to your point, I think there is a lot of pressure on this beyond it just being, we need to get Fantastic Four right, because I know everybody's like, oh, Secret Wars Kang. It's like, no, that's going to be Doctor Doom. There's a reason they're hell bent on having Fantastic Four drop before Secret Wars. That's going to be, I feel like that's going to be a key fixture in getting us to the on-ramp to Secret Wars and so Doctor Doom, all that stuff. So it's like, yeah. It's a lot of pressure. Have you guys heard the rumors? Now it's my turn to spread baseless rumors. And this is just online speculation. I haven't heard anything official, but I saw.
Did you make this up, DJ?
I did not. Somebody else made this up, and it's one of those.
It's just online speculation.
Yeah, no, that there's something. There was a snag in the purchase of Fox that is making it difficult for them to just do X-Men. And the only reason it stuck with me is that it is weird that we don't. The only X-Men announcement we have is X-Men 97. Like, that feels weird to me at this point. Like, nothing? No X-Men?
I think that it might be a
spot.
Yeah, I think I part of me thinks that the reason why they're holding on to it until the last minute is because it may potentially spoil some plot point in a project that comes before it. Okay. I know Miss Marvel obviously drops like she's a mutant, and there's like hints towards, mutant type of things going on in the universe. But I do wonder, it's either going to come right after Secret Wars, or it potentially spoils something that's going to happen right before. So that's the only theory that I have, and it's really not much.
Yeah. What were you saying, Roxy?
No, nothing. I agree with you guys. Yeah. Like it could come in one of those. I'm calling them blank spots. I don't actually know how to refer to those.
Yeah.
The empty slots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also with you though, DJ, that it is strange. I think that anything that we're not hearing, they don't know the answer to yet.
Yeah, fair.
Like if we're not getting the cast of Fan 4, likely they haven't locked it down.
Yeah.
Not like we will never tell you. Like likely they don't know. If we're not hearing about X-Men, likely they don't know. It would
you will never get this. You will never get this.
You will never get this. Like we're not dealing with like some super villains that are like just trying to like dangle something in front of us. I think same thing with DC right now, as much as I'm super annoyed with them, not to go on a whole tailspin, but like likely they don't know the answer to the questions we have. They're not answering our questions because they don't
have any answers.
They don't have any answers.
I totally agree with you. And the thing I have to always remind people, if you look at the way these Marvel films are made, they make them in like 12 to 14 months. Yes. They don't spend 3 years. I mean, the development, sure. But when it comes to the actual photography of these movies, they do it like a year before the movie comes out. So if Fantastic Four doesn't come out till November, I think it's November 8th, 2024, that means it's not going to start shooting until like next fall in 2023. You don't need the cast this early. So they're probably not going to have it cast until Comic-Con of next year is when they're going to announce it. They'll spend, however long it is up to the early fall prepping the film, then they'll go shoot it. So it's so early. Like they just got Matt Shackman. They're not going to give you a cast now. It's so early. Yeah. Unless those characters were sprinkled into something else before. Then they
that, or unless one thing leaks and then they want to do it. Not like there's ways that we could get this before July of next year. But I definitely think when people are so mad, like, why didn't you tell us, blah, blah, blah. But then they're mad. They're mad then if somebody gets recast because like they're waiting till they know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so for those at home holding their breath, hoping that the thing is going to show up in She-Hulk, I don't. I'm going to assume that's not going to happen. We also got and I thought this was that was the weird thing to me, is people being like, oh man, there was nothing here. And it's like, but there was cool things, including we got our Thunderbolts lineup. I don't think it's the complete lineup, but we did get a lineup. We got Valentina, who's the rest of her name I'm not going to say, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. We got Yelena's back, Florence Pugh. Sebastian Stan is back as Bucky. David Harbour as Red Guardian. Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent Ghost. As Hannah John Kamen, played by Hannah John Kamen, excuse me. And Olga Kurylenko as Taskmaster is back. What did you all think of this?
This is the first I'm hearing of it, so I'm stoked to know.
Oh wait, did you not see the image? The image that was going around?
No.
Let's see if I can send it to you.
I'm excited to see more Wyatt Russell. I am excited for this whole thing. This sounds great, and not shocking. Sounds like they just put the pieces together. Kind of. Why do you think, DJ, that this isn't full?
It's weird that there's no Zemo. Zemo is such a key part of the Thunderbolts in the comics. And the version of Zemo in the MCU is so popular or so well received, it seems, that it feels like a weird oversight. I pointed out when I tweeted about it, I was like, weird that no Zemo, but this looks great. And then Hector replied to me, he's like, I think him and Abomination are probably going to be in there. So again, why would they withhold that? Either maybe it's a reveal in the movie, maybe it's not finalized yet, maybe they're waiting on like. It wouldn't surprise me. Oh fuck! I wish I knew when any of these things were dropping. When is Secret Invasion dropping?
Secret Invasion is the first show of 2023. I think it's slated like late February, early March.
So like maybe Zemo factors into that, and so they're waiting because that plays out, because we didn't get we haven't found out who Agent 13 was talking to in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and if I were a betting man, I'd put money on that being answered in Secret Invasion. So maybe some of that, like maybe Agent 13 could be involved. I will say this is a cool lineup of mostly either characters that were kind of wasted, so I'm excited to see them do new things with them, or characters that really responded to. I do wish we'd like put somebody from the like Songbird or Mock. I know they're not. There's been no hints of these characters in the comics. They were previously villains that became heroes. We don't have that arc, but it would be cool to have like Thunderbolts characters in the Thunderbolt like that. It would just be. Yeah. I would just enjoy that. Also, I'm going to throw this out there. After seeing this week's She-Hulk, wouldn't mind if we found out Titania was on the team. I think that would be just like a wild card. Like, wait, why is this? Why? Because that, I guess. It feels like Thunderbolts is kind of Marvel Suicide Squad, and it feels like they're pulling up more to probably differentiate it from that, to be more an espionage angle. But part of me still wants that chaotic energy of like, fuck it, Harley Quinn's on the team. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, Titania's here. And it's like, wait, how is she supposed to interact with everybody? She's not. That's the point. It's like, I like that. I like that kind of like chaotic vibe. Mm-hmm.
I also just am obsessed with Jamila Jamil. So
she's fucking funny in that episode. She's so funny in that episode. Anyway,
I don't really know the Thunderbolts that well. So now that we're kind of entering into phase 4, this is kind of beyond my personal connection to the Marvel comic books. This is definitely like incredibly Hector territory, because he will spit off things that I'm like, yep, sounds good. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Sounds good. But I think it's a really interesting lineup. And you also, if you also look at just like the power levels of all these characters, not necessarily the most like super powered. I almost feel like Bucky and maybe Red Guardian are the most super powered, because they have, well, Bucky has a version of the super soldier serum.
Yeah. So we don't know what Red Guard, he's super strong. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't know exactly why and how. So it'll be interesting, but I do agree. I don't think it's a full roster yet. I think there's going to be additions. I would also be very surprised if Baron Zemo is not in it. Daniel Bruhl was so good in that show.
Yes.
So I think I think for sure there's going to be more surprises. And because that movie doesn't come out for, I forget when, probably the like end of next year or the year after. It's like there's so much time. I don't need to know every detail about every project now. Save something for later on. So I think, there definitely will be an expansion to that lineup. And just to see Bucky and US Agent work together, like how is that dynamic going to work? So there's a lot of interesting pieces in there.
Roxy, what do you think?
I think that yes to everything you guys are saying. I think that Daniel Bruhl is amazing. I do wonder if any part of this was like, did you guys see the amount of trash that people were giving? Obviously, you saw how much trash everybody was giving about Meg Thee Stallion twerking, but all of the comparisons being to Daniel Bruhl.
Yes.
And his dancing.
Yeah.
And like
I saw that, and the Guardians thing too.
People being so obsessed with him. Like, I wonder if they're just trying not to, he outshines everybody. So I wonder if they're just like, we'll save this as an ace in our pocket if we have him for sure.
Yeah. And maybe he could be the antagonist of the movie for whatever reason. There's also in the comics, he goes by the codename Citizen V, so maybe they're trying to like do a reveal or something.
What's the letter?
That's what I was just about to bring up. Yeah.
V.
Compound V?
Yeah. Yes.
I understood that reference finally.
It's like too much in the brain. It's just too much.
But yeah, I think Citizen V is like a fun like thing, because again, as we know from the online, and it's totally fine. Not because I'm guilty of this too. Not everybody reads the comic books, so it's like save some surprises for later. It's all good.
It's all good. I have to admit that this whole time I've been trying to find a way to send this image to Roxy, and for some reason
What is it?
I did Thunderbolts in the Thunderbolts lineup,
Oh,
so
that
you can
one.
see they put an image, and for some reason I can't crack it because I'm a dunce.
Hold for image.
Hold.
Hold for image. I think I could look it up.
Yeah, just type
Right?
in Thunderbolts. It should be like right there.
Here, I'm just gonna put a link to it in the chat. How does that work?
Jeez.
Yeah, that should work. I don't know why I can't even
All right,
find the chat. See, it's right there. I feel so dumb right now.
Oh, this image actually looks sick.
Yeah.
I thought you said people were shooting on it.
No, they wanted Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Oh.
This wasn't enough for them. But here's the thing. That is cool.
David Harbour is so goofy.
Yeah, I'll get to the thing that it's like we got 2 trailers. One of them I'm going to say for last because it's like, yeah, why would you complain about anything? They gave you this. Why are you mad? But it's Werewolf by Night. I don't know why anybody. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. Before we get there, Roxy, did you see the Secret Invasion trailer?
No.
I should, if I'd known, I would have sent them to you. So.
No, I'm sorry.
We got the.
She slept for 90 minutes. Cut her some slack.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I watched Blonde this week. It took up 3 hours of my fucking life.
Yeah, I heard. I actually read a review that was pretty positive, and I saw that runtime. I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know.
I have
don't know.
to watch, but
Because it
not
sounds
relevant to this conversation.
It
Just saying, no more trailer room.
Yeah. It was like the review was like good, but it's harrowing, and it's like 3 hours. I don't know if anyway, whatever.
DJ, you would hate that movie.
Oh, cool. Good for me. Good for me. Okay. Anyway. Trailer for Secret Invasion looks super cool. Definitely looks like a cool spy thriller for Nick Fury. It's all about him. He's back on Earth. It seems like there's a rogue sector of Skrulls that are trying to take over Earth. Looks very different from the comics. I'm personally fine with that. Secret Invasion is kind of like Flashpoint for me. A lot of people talk about it, but I don't. It's like most events. It's fine. I don't really care if we tinker with it. I'm not beholden to it in any real way.
Yeah.
And this, if you were gonna, it's a Nick Fury Disney Plus show, but they're just calling it Secret Invasion, and I'm fine with that. I think that's perfectly fine.
Did somebody tell me that Don Cheadle's in this and like 2 other shows?
Yeah, this is setting up. Don Cheadle's in the trailer, and it apparently is directly setting up the Armor Wars show that we'd previously heard about, but was not part of their like. At Comic-Con when they did the full lineup, Armor Wars wasn't in there. It's still happening. And similarly, it seems like Armor Wars, we're calling it Armor Wars because that's a famous Iron Man crossover. It's a War Machine. It's a War Machine show. That's what it is. Similar with Secret Invasion. We're calling it Secret Invasion, but for all intents and purposes, it is a Nick Fury show.
I still find it funny that after 15, 16 years of the MCU or something, people get mad when they're not one-to-one adaptations of the comic book. Like I still have people who hit me up like, yeah, but it's not going to be like the comic book. I'm like, yeah, because it's not the comics.
Yeah.
What do you expect? But I thought that trailer did look really good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and especially like when you knew it was being a Disney Plus show, it's like, well, they're not. Listen. It would be cool if Chris Evans showed up and then it ended up being a Skrull or whatever. Or, you know what I mean? But one, they're not going to spend that money on a Disney Plus show. 2, they're saving that for Secret Wars. That's what's going to happen in Secret Wars. They're not that they're going to be Skrulls, but Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all whoever says yes to the money truck will show up in Secret Wars. So I'm not going to blow that for Secret Invasion, but it is cool to see Nick Fury. We got more of Nick Fury in Captain Marvel, but I don't think that was the best showcase of his character. It's cool to see.
Plus, it's like a pre-Nick Fury in a lot of ways,
and it's not like cool pre-Nick Fury. It's like suburban dad Nick Fury. Like it's like wait, well, this is the whatever. I've seen young Samuel L. Jackson, for lack of a better word. He was a bad motherfucker. Why is this the version we're getting? So it's cool to like. Yeah, like this feels like Nick Fury. This feels like this. I'm actually kind of amped for the show.
Yeah, and I think like this is kind of like a hard comparison or expectation put on the show, but with everything that Andor has been doing tonally, I'm like, I hope that's what Secret Invasion is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe I get from the trailer, which is, I feel like kind of goes back to The Winter Soldier, which is one of my favorite MCU films.
Yeah.
I love the tone in that whole thing and like the whole spy espionage thriller thing. So I do hope that Secret Invasion leans into that a lot more. And yeah, I think Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn are great. And everybody else in that show. I mean, goddamn, Olivia Colman, Emilia Clarke's in there, Don Cheadle's in there. It's a really good cast. Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see who ends up being who, and who ends up being a Skrull, and who ends up being someone who we thought was an ally and maybe ends up not being such a thing.
Yeah. Well,
Who ends up being the Skrull and who ends up being a troll?
mm-hmm.
I wonder if the reason why I'm not paying much attention to this anymore, not you guys, but the whatever, is because I'm watching every one of these shows. There's never going to be, they're not putting out a single show I'm not going to watch, period, at this point, unless it's animated. And you guys know I have a weird issue with animated, not because it's not great. I just suck. So it's like, if you're going to put out a show, I'm going to watch it. You guys have earned that from me. So I genuinely go into some of these with no knowledge and no care on what's it about. And like, I just am just checking it out. And going back to what you were talking about earlier, Adam, I actually don't have as much issue with people being like, but this is what it's, but I wish it was like what it's like in the comics, as much as I do when people see something that was in the comics and it doesn't make sense in the show. And they're like, but it was in the comics. If you read the comics, you would understand it. And I'm like,
for sure.
That's crazy that you think that in order to watch this show, you had to have read the comics. That's lazy.
Yeah, it has to do its own.
I agree.
It has to be able to do its own thing. And I'm just going to throw out some baseless speculation. I'll bet you we'll see Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Secret Invasion, especially because in the comics, her character Nick Fury have kind of a thing. And if we don't get them on screen together, that feels like a waste. Yeah, that feels like a waste. And now that I've said it out loud, I do feel like this will set up some Thunderbolt stuff.
They're gonna make you outie?
I mean, that'd be cool. They do in the comics. They do in the comics.
Wow.
But
within the comics.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like we need to see them. Yeah, I just want to see those two actors interact. I mean, that feels like great. That feels great to me. I want to check that out. The other trailer we got.
Oh my God.
Is Werewolf by Night. Roxy, listen, look up the Werewolf by Night trailer.
Talking about this one, and everybody's excited for it, and I'm like, I've never heard of this, and okay.
Adam and I are going to talk about it. You go watch it. Bring it up on your phone.
You really think I should right now?
Yes.
All right. BRB, homie G's.
So we're going to talk about it. Fuck, this trailer was so. This came out of no. We knew that they were working on a Halloween special. We'd heard that it was Werewolf by Night. Gail Garcia Bernal, Michael Giacchino, like directing it. Which when I heard that, I was like, whenever somebody that's like famous for doing one thing is like, I'm going to direct now, it's like, well, maybe, and vice versa. Whenever a director's like, I'm going to act in this, don't do that. And then I saw this trailer, and it is straight up. It comes across like one of the trailers that they put in between Death Proof and Planet Terror and the Grindhouse thing.
Yes.
It's like this is, please let this be what the show is,
dude. Like, because I'm like you, I knew what he was making, I knew who was making it, I knew all that stuff, I knew it was a Halloween special. But when that shit started in black and white, I was like, wait a minute. And then it turns into like a 30s, 40s Universal monster movie with the layer of 70s Grindhouse. I was like, oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? It was so unexpected, and it was such a pleasant surprise, because I think a lot of the time, and I'm sure you have these conversations too, we always talk about how can Marvel just do something different, something where they don't feel obligated to tie into the timeline or tie into one specific movie or multiple stories and TV shows and all that crap. When can Marvel just make something that can just stand on its own? And if it happens to tie into something in the future, great. Yeah. But it doesn't have to feel that obligation to. This is that. And I love the look. I love everything about it. I was so surprised by it. And I think that's what I want from everything going forward.
Yes.
And I'm on the edge of my seat to hear what Roxy has to say.
Roxy thoughts. What are Roxy thoughts?
Okay. Disney's like, wow, you guys thought we wouldn't be a little unique? We've got this. this looks interesting and different and cool, I guess. I have no idea how people are feeling about this, but I like it. It looks spooky. What is the dude's name from Y Tu Mama Tambien?
Gael Garcia Bernal.
Bernal.
Oh my God, he's so hot.
He's a beautiful man.
Those would be pretty much my takes on the movie. This looks cool.
Yeah, I think for me, it's somebody that, because for the longest time, Marvel kind of felt beholden to have everything have a similar tone, and so it's cool that now, like 4 phases deep, it's like fuck it. Like I've heard people describe kind of this phase kind of disparagingly as the fuck it phase, and it's like I'm fine if I give me a dozen Thor Love and Thunders if you just give me one of these every once in a while, where it's just like if that's what this is, the fuck it phase, and it gives me this, yes, but fuck it, I don't care.
Listen,
this is great.
DJ, we've been in pandemic for 2.5 years. Every single person out there is looking for a fuck it phase. Mm-hmm. I always will take down a fuck it phase. Yes. Bring on the fuck it phase, Marvel. Especially if it's got Gael in it. Yeah. I am into the fuck it phase.
Yeah, and it's just, but I do want to suggest this because Adam, you mentioned like immediately the black and white. I've watched the trailer a couple times. It looks like the black and white is helping them get away with more violence than they would have otherwise. So anybody that's seen Kill Bill, there's a whole action scene where suddenly the movie's just black and white, and that's because it was going to get an NC-17 rating because of the violence in the scene, which if you've seen the scene in color, it seems silly now. But anyway, whatever. Watching
what is this movie rated?
I'm going to assume like most Marvel things, like PG-13 ish, but there's a lot where like the werewolf was cutting into people. I'm like, this feels a bit more than Marvel's usual stuff, and I'm wondering if it was the thing was they did it and they're like, we won't get away with this unless we do it in black and white, or from the jump they're like, we want to do it in black and white and that will allow us to do
yeah. Which I hope that's the case.
The one actress, Harriet Sansom Harris, who was on Desperate Housewives, but she's been in a lot of different things, and she's like getting her face pulled into the cage. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
That was sick.
Yeah.
That was dope. She's really good, and she's super effing creepy. I've seen her in like 5,000 things over the years. Oh, yeah, nice. She's 84 credits on IMDb. I'm excited to see her at like more of a center or something. She's really creepy.
Yeah, there's also a
really creepy.
Blink and you'll miss it. Like frames of the trailer are Man-Thing, who for people familiar with the comics, he's kind of like Swamp Thing but creepier. He doesn't have like even a remotely human face, and he has an acid touch. And it's just one of those that like I can't believe Man-Thing is going to be in the fucking MCU and it's not like this is nothing. They did one of the other announcements at D23. They're releasing I don't remember what the ride is called, but it's a new ride.
The multiverse ride?
The multiverse ride where they're fighting King Thanos. I did find it funny that Kevin Feige was like, this is a universe where Thanos won. It's like, well, technically in the main universe he also won, but okay, whatever.
Hello.
But in that image where all the characters are coming at Thanos, Werewolf by Night is one of them. So it's not like this doesn't matter.
Man-Thing is in there too.
Like they're clearly like, oh my God. There is a chance that the special is not very good, but
don't you even dare.
I love it. Love the energy. Big ups on the energy. You got me in your corner, guys. And it's coming soon. It's like in weeks, like 3 weeks.
It's October 7th.
Yeah, it's like right around the corner.
Trust me, it's in my calendar because I'm like, we're watching this the minute it drops because I cannot wait for it. Pretty much. God. But I think going back to what you guys were talking about, the fuck it phase, I think also a lot of people forget that phase 4 is in some ways a lot like phase 1. Yeah. Because we're introducing a ton of new characters. So I think they're also probably, I would assume, trying to kind of figure out what tones fit the characters best, what like visual language their movies and shows can have that really fit the characters. So I'm all for the experimentation. Like, give us more of that. I don't want everything to feel like where phase 2, a lot of stuff just kind of felt samey. Yeah. I want it to all feel unique and different. And that's why I think I was so excited about this trailer, was because it looks unlike anything we've seen in the MCU. And I'm like, please, for the love of God, if this looks like this, let Blade, if they do Midnight Suns and they bring in Ghost Rider and all these other characters, like let the horror stuff have its own unique style and look. It doesn't all have to be black and white. It doesn't all have to look like a grindhouse movie.
Yeah.
But really make it feel a little bit more scary and thrilling and suspenseful than everything else that we've seen. Because I just like horror, and I don't give a shit if 8-year-olds watch it. It's not my problem.
Yeah,
What I'm hearing from you is that you want as much horror as possible in the fucking face.
For the fucking love of God, please. Lord.
I want horror in my fuck it phase.
It's not really a fucking face without horror.
Yeah,
that's right.
Gotta get it in there. Gotta get it in there. So other things.
Something's wrong with my little brain.
I don't like.
Not at all.
I don't like being one of these that make these comparisons, but it just feels just a stark contrast that over at DC they're like, no, Batgirl. Who's gonna want to see a Batgirl movie? Meanwhile, Marvel's like, here's Werewolf by Night and Man Thing, and also Bloodstone. Fuck it, here it is.
That's such a great comment, though, DJ, because it's so true. Where like the lack of confidence in DC right now, the fact that they were just like, we just have zero confidence in a Bat family member. Like,
Batgirl's one of the few DC characters that had a continuous ongoing comic for like years.
Yo, homegirl has the word Bat.
Yes,
got Bat. Even the people who don't know.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
and they were like, we don't know. Nope, scrap it. Taxes. We need the write-off. And Marvel at this point is so confident. They're like, y'all want to see this black and white
monster movie?
We're going to take on the Universal Werewolf movie? Why not? Well, fuck it. We got nothing to lose.
Meanwhile, Sony's over there like, you realize how much work we've had to do to make a Spider universe? If we just had Batman, we would never. We'd have Batman. We'd have Nightwing. We'd have Batgirl. We'd have all the Bat villains.
That's why I continue to tell you, DJ, I do have confidence that DC will figure this out because they have the characters to do so. But it does seem like Marvel's like, what's that expression about Picasso? You take away his paint and he would use watercolor. You take away his watercolor. He would use water. You take away water. He'd use his blood from his finger or whatever. Right. Because if you're a painter, you paint no matter what. That's Marvel's like, we run out. You take away anything, we're still going to make the movies.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, DC's sitting with their like $1 billion oil paints and that are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and they're like,
what do we do?
We don't know what to do. No, paint. Just paint, bro.
I slowly die inside.
Man of Steel 2. I don't get it.
So just to wrap up the last few things, we got a confirmation that Ke-Huy Quan, which I've never had to say his name out loud, I hope I didn't mess it up, is going to be in Loki season 2. He's from Everything Everywhere All at Once, and
the Temple of Doom, baby.
Doom.
That reunion with him and Harrison Ford was pretty great.
It was great, but
that photo is cute.
But it's also like, why isn't he in the new Indiana Jones movie?
Put him in the movie. We don't know
movie.
for sure, I guess, right? Technically.
Yeah, but it's like...
I don't know, but I hear the footage of that was sick.
I hope so.
Yeah, I have a lot of faith in James Mangold. I've liked all of his movies. I would say mostly all of his movies.
Yeah, he makes solid movies. He makes solid movies.
So I have a lot of faith that, he's going to take the best parts of Spielberg and make it his own and do something really good. And if Harrison Ford's on stage getting emotional about it, which he didn't really do with Star Wars.
No.
I have a feeling that it was good enough.
Yeah. I hope in my mind, Indiana Jones is 3 perfect movies. Like I remember, Monica had never seen them, and so we watched them together. And I didn't even tell her there was a 4th one. I'm like, these 3. She
still doesn't know.
She still doesn't know. It's just these 3.
It's always going to be the Indiana Jones. I mean, when they put out the 4K remasters, didn't they put it out as a trilogy first?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Even they acknowledge
Well, and people like to dunk on Temple of Doom. I would argue Temple of Doom is still a very, very good movie. So I think the other 2 are better than Temple of Doom, but Temple of Doom is still better than most movies. Anyway,
I probably haven't done an Indiana Jones rewatch in 15 years.
Well, it was.
I haven't seen
Great time.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Well, and I watched them as a kid, and I was like, I really liked them, and it wasn't until I rewatched them as an adult with Monica, and I was like, oh, these movies are perfect. These movies are accomplish everything they set out to do. Yeah. Anyway, and then there's the 4th one, which maybe if I rewatched it, I'd like it more, but I'm not gonna. So that it is what it is. We also got a new Mandalorian trailer, which looks cool. It was a cool trailer.
Yeah. I think it's the same. I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I think it's very similar to the one they were shown at Celebration.
Cool. I don't know either. It's not Andor.
I was
so
at
don't-
Celebration.
Did you see the Mandalorian trailer?
I didn't.
Oh, did you see it?
I saw the bottom of a lot of cups of beer and
That
the
is
floor.
the best response.
I have fun, guys.
We also got
That's the way to do it.
a new Willow.
I love this kind of stuff. I just don't. I don't think it's fun anymore when you take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Am
Yeah.
I going to watch Mandalorian season 3? You bet your bottom dollar I am. So, like, am I going to wait in line for 4 hours so I make sure I'm one of the people to see that trailer? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like I'm lucky enough that I know someone who was working or who has always worked at Hall H. So that's how I'm able to kind of get in without having to wait in the line. If I had to wait in that line for 3 days, there's no fucking way
It's just
I would
a no.
ever go into Hall H. No chance in hell.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I've
I'll
done
wait
it.
for the
I've
YouTube
done it before.
videos.
Yeah. It's brutal and
Yeah.
people are smelly.
Yeah. I don't do. Wait, just so you can see footage that the rest of us are going to see like 6 months later. No, I'm good. Thanks. Thanks though.
Yeah.
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 I'll read about it online.
For a thing that I'm going to watch.
Yes.
No matter what.
No matter
Yeah.
what
Not like
happens.
trying to make a decision here.
Yeah. 7,500 people will get panel footage. I'll be fine.
It'll be good. And those were the big things. We got a new Willow trailer. It looks cool. Willow's a fun movie. We were just talking about Indiana Jones 5. John Rhys Davies is returning as Sala, which feels like
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
I love John Rhys Davies and I love him as Sala.
Oh, good.
I don't know, maybe the 21st century. Maybe we don't. I don't know the specifics, but I feel like there's probably a problematic element to that. I don't. Anyway,
When is Willow? That's the end of this year.
Yeah,
I
November
think so.
30th, I think.
It looked.
I feel like they're really pushing that, like to do a big thing at Celebration and D23 about Willow. I'm like, that's interesting that they've got a lot of eggs in this basket.
I think
Yeah.
it makes sense because Willow's a fine movie, but it doesn't have the same weight of something like Star Wars. You could do more with it. I don't know that Willow fans are going to get mad at you if you. There's a lot of space to color in. Like it was one movie, you know what I mean? You could do more with it without people getting mad at you about it. So that I support that. Of course, we got the Little Mermaid trailer, which a bunch of trolls pretended to be mad about. And over at Pixar, Amy Poehler is returning for Inside Out 2. But Bill Hader, Mindy Kaling, and Louis Black might not, because apparently Pixar doesn't want to spend money, which feels like a bummer.
Interesting. Pixar
What
is making a
emotions-
Criterion version of WALL-E though, so that's cool.
Wait, there's a Criterion WALL-E?
Coming out, yeah.
That's cool. I love that movie.
It's not my favorite of them.
Really?
Yeah, I like it fine, but it's not my favorite.
What's your
of them.
He's
favorite?
right, like, really?
For me, WALL-E, Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Those are the
Damn, Up is amazing.
Up
Up
is
is-
great.
Up slaps.
Yeah.
If you don't cry in the first 30 to 60 seconds of that movie, then I question your soul.
Yeah. I
now that-
also love grandparent stories and just like, oh my God, that does it for me.
yeah.
What emotion are you guys hoping to see in Inside Out 2?
Will they do new ones? Because it looked
Yeah,
like
they're doing new ones, they said.
Oh, okay. Because I saw.
Look at me with that D23 information. Yeah, so the kid is now a teenager. So new emotions. I'm hoping for anxiety.
Impending doom. That is a little weird to me because we did get a brief peek into the adults' heads and they had the same 5 emotions. So a little continuity error there.
Whoa.
doing
I'm sure
some-
there'll be some of the same emotions, but they said they're adding a couple new ones.
That is cool. Anxiety wait, wasn't the purple one anxiety?
I don't know, whatever.
I'm going
I
to
love
admit
that
something
movie.
here right now. This is an exclusive. I have not seen Inside Out.
Movie night.
Oh,
Movie night. I'm
Adam?
sure Hector has it in 3D. We'll
Oh,
all
yeah.
go over to Hector's, watch it in 3D.
It's either the first, second, or third best Pixar movie.
Yeah, I've heard it's really, really good.
It's real good.
I just never got around to it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like,
Not to
blows
oversell
your
it,
socks off.
but very
Like,
good.
got to give yourself the whole night. Can't make plans
Yeah.
after it.
Yeah.
So good.
Perfect. I love those kind of nights.
Yeah,
I think I'm
what-
house sitting for a month.
I'm trying to think perfect time to watch it. I'm trying to think of my Mount Rushmore of Pixar movies. WALL-E's up there. Incredibles is up there. Inside Out is definitely up there. And I feel like there's one.
Toy Story,
but it's almost like which one? All the toys. The Toy
so
Stories
good.
are kind of like Indiana Jones, except that the fourth one is also good. Like they're all really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think actually Toy Story, all of them being so good, deters people from putting them in their top. Because what are you going to just have them be your top 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Let's lump them all together. The Toy Stories.
Yeah,
they're
right?
up there.
That's how I would just do it. I mean, if it's all one solid story, then like, why not?
Are you including Lightyear in that?
No, although I did
connected.
I did like Lightyear though. I know a lot of people trashed on it. I actually really enjoyed Lightyear.
I
but
did too.
It's not Toy Story good. It's just good. It's not Toy Story good. I didn't like.
Yeah.
I wasn't changed as a person watching it. I just enjoyed it.
For sure. That's how I feel too.
So you're saying you hated it.
Roxy, what's your Inside Out is in your Mount Rushmore. I feel like Up's up there.
It's the Toy Stories. It's Inside Out. It's Up. I'm trying to think of. I didn't love Coco like other people did.
Coco's good. Coco's one of the ones. There's only like 2 or 3. I would argue bad Pixar movies. Coco's one of the. It's still a low number. That's just good. It's like Lightyear. It's like, oh, that's good.
Strangely enough, one of my least favorite is Finding Nemo.
I like Finding Nemo a lot. Finding Dory is fine.
Slaps.
Ratatouille's so good, actually. Ratatouille's
so good.
really good. There's that scene where
Ratatouille's excellent. And growing up, I loved A Bug's Life.
Yes.
I loved that movie.
I did not like to go bat for this movie.
I didn't like Bug's Life when I first saw it. We just rewatched it like a year ago. It's like, oh no, this is good. This holds up.
Do you guys remember? It came out right around the same time as Ants.
Yeah. Yep.
And I love, for some reason, those 2 movies, I was just like, I guess I'm a bug chick.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
really into these bug movies. And yeah, they're all, every movie except for the Cars movies, Good Dinosaur, like I would rewatch any of them any given time. So when I say like, I don't like this movie, it's like comparative, in comparison. But
yeah.
And Monsters Inc. is so good too.
Oh, Monsters Inc.
I love Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. I think is in my top for sure. Yeah. I love that movie so much.
Good. It's so good.
So good.
I kind of think Inside Out is going to break your top 3. I'm not kidding you, Adam. I need you to watch it yesterday.
We'll do what we did with Roxy. Adam, you watch it right now. We'll check back in with you.
Yeah. I'll be back in 80 minutes.
We'll wait. We can wait.
Yeah, we can wait. It's worth it. Adam, other than the fact that you have not seen Inside Out, top Pixar movies.
I damn. As of right now, I think I'm gonna go. Oh god, this is so hard. I think I'm gonna go Monsters Inc. I'm gonna go The Incredibles, and
Up, bro.
Yeah,
wait.
I think it's gonna have to be Up.
Is Turning Red's Pixar, right? That's not Disney. That's Pixar. Turning Red's really good too. I don't know.
It was really good, but it's a mid-tier Pixar movie, I think.
Which is still like, I agree with you, but that for me, that's still like better than most movies. Like again, like Turning Red is like, for Pixar, it's pretty good. A
mid-tier Pixar movie is still a great film.
Yeah, exactly.
I just didn't like that it was an allegory for women's periods because women shouldn't be in the center of attention. Like they're like kind of secondary category, and it's like periods are gross. So that was a problem.
My favorite thing about Roxy is that she can have the most serious looking face.
Yeah.
And I don't know until she like says the whole sentence and I'm like, what?
Yeah, there was a brief moment where Adam and I were like, wait, where's this going? Oh, okay, got it.
Cut her mic, cut it. It's incredible. I watch the world look at me sometimes like, is she about to get us canceled? Is she? Oh, no. Okay, right. She's still Roxy. We know her. We love her. Yep, okay.
We're good. We're good. Oh man.
Yeah, and periods aren't real though. That was the point at the end. At the end of the day, that's a hoax. We made it up so that we could complain 1 week a month. I just want everybody to be clear on that for sure, though. So now that I've debunked that,
yes. Oh my God. Turning Red is good though.
Just take the blood from our enemies and put them in our vaginas.
That would actually be really impressive. That would still be. That would still be impressive.
Is that in Phase 5 of the MCU?
MCU. That's going to be. That's what the Blade movie's about.
the werewolf movie is getting them ready for that. You know,
Right.
we're like testing the waters to see, like, are you guys going to be down with period gate? Because like we're not sure yet. We'll see. It could be in black and white, and we do a sepia the whole tone. So it's just like.
We'll sneak
Sorry,
it in there.
I'm done now,
Splashes
DJ.
of
I'm
red.
sorry.
All right, that's it for us this week. We got Kayla Marie in the chats screaming out Disenchanted and Hocus Pocus 2. Those both were trailers that dropped. I didn't see the Disenchanted trailer. I did see Hocus Pocus 2. We'll see. I as a kid.
I haven't seen Enchanted. That's so weird that I missed
Same.
that one. You
feel
missed
like-
that too?
I feel like
Weird.
I don't remember, but I feel like I've seen, like, maybe I was around when my sister was watching it. I've heard really good things. That's Amy Adams, right? She's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out in 2007, so it was like I just got out of high school, and I just don't think that movie was like on my radar at that point in my life.
Yeah.
I know that I don't know if you guys know him from Schmodown or for the things he did in life, but Griffin Newman's going to be in Disenchanted, who I like a lot. He was in the Schmodown, and he was also in The Tick. I interviewed him on Collider.
Oh,
back in the
nice.
day.
He's the main. There's the Tick, and then I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but he's the like the main guy in the Tick.
Yeah, exactly. He's
He
the main
was
Tick.
so good in that.
Yeah, he's very talented. And so when I saw that Disenchanted was coming, I was like, wow, I gotta watch Enchanted. And then I saw he was in it, and I was like, oh, yo, we gotta show up support, because they very much need my support, obviously.
You specifically. Also,
A
shout
little
out.
small movie that needs my support now that I'm a big star.
He played Arthur. I'm sorry, I blanked on it. He plays Arthur in The Tick. And if anybody didn't check out The Tick on Amazon Prime, it was real good. It was a good show. Bummer it got canceled. All right. That's it for the D23 announcements. Again, if you want to hear Roxy and I talk about House of the Dragon, you want to hear us talk about She-Hulk, you want to hear us talk about the Emmys, that's going to be over on patreon.com/onlystupid-answers. But
Adam's
Adam,
not going to talk with us? Wow, lame.
but if you want
Throwing him into it.
if you want to hear Adam talk about at least some of those things, Adam, remind them where they should go.
You can just go watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/Heroes Reforged. We also have a Patreon. You can just check all that stuff out on our YouTube channel. And then I sometimes will talk shit about some things that I'm a shill of on Twitter at Adam Hlavac.
Roxy, you're up to things too. Where are those things?
Yeah, everywhere at Roxy Stryer. Apparently, Adam thinks it's lame to just have your name as your handle. So call me lame. But more importantly, call me Roxy Stryer.
Yes.
That's where you can find me. I tell you all the things.
Where it is. You can find me at DJ Talks Trash because my name, once again, did not fit. And you can find the show everywhere that matters at Only Stupid Answers. But on Twitter...
You ain't got the vowels from stupid.
Why? Because it didn't fit. It keeps going back to there's only a certain amount of characters you can fit into.
Didn't they change the amount of characters, DJ?
It's too late now. It's part of the brand. It's part of the brand.
It would have to be updated.
It's
He's gone
part of
too
the
far.
brand. Can I even update the Twitter handle at this point? I don't even know. I couldn't figure out how to send you a picture through the Zoom chat. So
You couldn't figure out how to text me a photo.
I could.
mean, what?
That's a good point. My phone's right here. I could have done that. I didn't think of it at the time. Hey, before we go, I got proofs of Hellbent. They look good, and now they're going to the printers.
DJ.
Oh, nice.
So if you backed it, hopefully sooner rather than later, you'll be getting those in the mail. Stay tuned for updates. And we'll see you all next time.